drive with me while we talk a little bit about generational trauma and how that affects us as a community, especially the Black community, or I shouldn't say just the Black community, but African American, Afro-Caribbean community, and how that plays a part in our everyday lives. So, for example, our generational trauma can stem from slavery, racism, colonialism, discrimination, right? So, for example, during slavery, the slaves were moved from different plantations, especially the males, right? For breeding reasons. They would move them from one plantation to the next. And so what that created was absentee fathers, right? So here we are 400 odd years later, we're still having the big issue of absentee fathers within our community. And, sometimes people really just want to do their best. But for some reason, they keep coming up short, and they're wondering why. Why I want to be a good dad. I didn't grow up with my dad, and I just want my child to have his or her dad. But what's preventing me from doing that? What is the hold back, right? No matter how I try, I just can't seem to be that for my child. Well, see, it's generational trauma, right? Like I said before, on the plantations, they would take the males and they would transfer them to another plantation, and they would settle there for a while. They would breed them, and then this person has like 5 or 6 or 7 different kids, right? And because he has good genes, he's strong. So they move him to another plantation. He has another set of kids, and the cycle keeps going on and on and on and on, right? So you find that is ingrained in the DNA of a person who's a descendant of slavery, right? Another one is racism. As you know, racism is still very prevalent in our society. Even my grandfather, he's not necessarily racist, but he has his reservations, and that's because his mom, my great-grandmother, she was 103 or 104 when she died. She experienced the back end of slavery and the colorism. Now, we're from Jamaica, and I would go as far as to say that there's not necessarily racism in Jamaica, but there is colorism. There's a negative connotation associated with how, the complexion of your skin. Like, for example, they'll say anything too black, no good, right? And that's because of, again, what was experienced on the plantation, where the lighter complexion slaves would be more favored. They would be the ones that would stay inside the house. They'd be closer to the slave mistresses. They're more likely to get raped, and in their mind, they think they're more favorable, which is a very sad thing to think about. So you find that the colorism is passed down as well, right? Even people that are my complexion will say, oh, somebody 2 shades darker than them, oh, them no good, or anything too black no good, right? And they would try to get as close to whiteness as they possibly can, because that is more acceptable in society, I suppose. Anyways, I say that to say this, that if you're fighting demons within you in regards to whether it be colorism, racism, self-worth, any of that stuff, take a look back and see where it's coming from. and then we can start the journey of healing together.